following is a conversation with myself, Josh Lewis. Today, I will be discussing a project that I've been working on for nearly a year. It's called the Sustainable Human Project. This project is nothing more than me organizing some topics and ideas that I find vitally important in order for society and humans to thrive. My hopes are that some of these resonate with you and help give you some framework to orient your life properly. Well, this talk is filled with 9 main talking points, all of which that can have a positive effect in your life. I want all of you to remember that it takes action and implementation to actually see change, not only in yourself, but in society as a whole. You are listening to the Co-Movement Gym podcast, where we inspire people to move and live courageously. If you are enjoying this content, please support our sponsors in the description. I thank each and every one of you for being on this journey with us. Now, please enjoy the show. Folks, listen up. I want to take a brief moment and thank our podcast show sponsors, Lombardi Chiropractic, Native Path Supplements, and Redmond Life. Lombardi Chiropractic has been my personal chiropractor for 10 years and has kept my body strong and healthy. Native Path supplements are used by numerous co-movement clients and our coaching team here at the facility. I highly recommend that you try their chocolate collagen peptides. I was made aware of Redmond Life by one of our trainers here at the facility. He recommended I try Relight electrolyte powder. This supplement has dramatically improved my afternoon energy levels and overall hydration. I'd like to thank these 3 companies for providing outstanding service and products that make our society healthier and more resilient. Mention the Co-Movement Gym podcast when you call Lombardi Chiropractic, and not only will they treat you like family, they will provide a nice, enticing discount to all listeners. And use code COMO15, that's C-O-M-O 15, at checkout when shopping at nativepath.com or redmond.life and receive 15% off all your orders. Your support to our show sponsors assists in us paying for expenses and continuing to provide content we hope you all enjoy. Welcome, folks. Today, it's just Josh sitting here with some notes, some important thoughts that I wanted to share with everyone as we head into 2023. So as 2022 ends and 2023 is fast approaching, I wanted to share with all of you 9 areas I will be focusing on in my personal life in 2023. I call these 9 areas the Sustainable Human Project, because I feel not only myself, but humanity as a whole can do better. We can live larger lives and collectively flourish. But in order for that to happen, hard work needs to be put forth. So I want to start with a quote and a few statistics, then we're going to dive into these 9 steps. This is a quote by Jordan Peterson. We must each adopt as much responsibility as possible for individual life, society, and the world. We must each tell the truth and repair what is in disrepair and break down and recreate what is old and outdated. It is in this manner that we can and must reduce the suffering that poisons the world. It's asking a lot. It's asking for everything. But the alternative, the horror of authoritarian belief, the chaos of the collapsed state, the tragic catastrophe of the unbridled natural world, and the angst that weakens society is clearly worse. Now, a few statistics before we dive into some exciting solutions to living a larger life and living properly. Currently, 87% of people are unhappy in their day-to-day job, where they're spending 40 to 50 hours of their life each week. 40 million adults suffer from anxiety. 16 million adults suffer from depression. Nearly half of our society is obese or overweight. And while there's a lot of depressing statistics, I find a lot of hope that we can improve things, live an exciting life, and simply do better. So with that said, let's start with the 9 steps to living properly with the Sustainable Human Project. Step 1, your aim in life should be clear, precise, and slightly larger than you can accomplish within your lifetime. Being clear on your aim will result in the earth manifesting itself around your aim, i.e., giving you opportunities. These opportunities that come forth to you do not happen by luck or by chance. It happens to those that have a chief aim and a clear purpose in life. Many people do not have this, and they complain about opportunities not presenting themselves or if things could be better for them. If they simply pay attention to step 1 with having a clear aim in life, it is amazing the opportunities that present themselves. And so for me, I've been doing a lot of note taking and some what I call brain dumps in terms of where I see the future, and a mission that is larger than I can most likely accomplish in my own lifetime, which could be hopefully 40, 50, maybe 60 more years, who knows. But that leads to a lot of inspiration and a long-term vision. And so step 1, your aim in life should be clear, precise, and slightly larger than you can accomplish within your lifetime. Step 2, choose the difficult but meaningful life with purpose. So what do I mean by this? How much comfort is truly needed in your life? What is the end goal? Is the end goal to retire at 65, move to Florida, sit on the beach, play golf, drink beer? Or do you have something deeper that you're looking forward to or striving towards? We are in a society where we're lucky enough now that even just with a modest amount of money, we can live a very comfortable life. And this leads to laziness, lack of vision, lack of drive. And so if your life is too difficult, now there's a group of people here that, if your life is too difficult, and you don't have a meaningful purpose that's driving that difficult piece, then life just sucks. That's just a hard life. You need to have a meaningful purpose behind the difficult actions. And again, I want to reemphasize, if your goal is to just slog to the finish line and get to 60, 67, collect Social Security, move to where you envision or fantasize to be a better place that will solve all your problems, that's going to be a life of disappointment. Now, there's been a lot of studies that show that within a year of retiring, those that didn't have purpose after retiring, something to strive for, look forward to every day, got quite sick and or died. There is a high percentage. I don't know the percentage, but you can look that up. Yeah, so don't fall into that camp. Step 3, be the example in life that you want duplicated throughout the world. I think it was Gandhi that said something along the lines. It was a more eloquent quote, I'm sure. But you have to walk the walk, and be the example for your community and your kids. I asked myself this question, and so should you. Would you want your actions right now to be duplicated in your children in the community? We have this hanging up in our house, is Gandhi's quote, be the change you want to see in the world. I think that's what it is. And I look at that every single day, and like times I don't want to, work out or respond to emails or maybe eat the best, or say the nicest things. I ask myself, would you want your actions right now to be duplicated in your children in the community? Many people put children in the community ahead of themselves, They also do that with their pets. They treat their pets better than they do themselves. Jordan Peterson has talked about that in his book. And it leads to poor actions. And this is a downstream effect that negatively affects your children in the community. So you need to walk the walk, be the shining light, and be the example, not only for yourself, but the community and your kids or kids around you. Step 4, build or join communities that promote the message and life you stand for. Your tribe should have similar values and actions as you. Positive social connection is one of the top key contributors to a healthy life. You can research the blue zones. There was a book written on this. The blue zones are areas of the world where people live the longest. And in all of those areas, they all say positive social connections and relationships. And so knowing this, joining a group of people, you need to choose wisely with people that have similar values and purpose in life as you, or else it'll be similar to just wanting to claw your eyes out with your own nails, belonging to something that people don't have similar belief systems. But you need a tribe. For me, I am lucky in this regard. I have jujitsu, I have my gym, my farming community, my podcast guests, amazing family. But there are so many people that are lonely. And the positive side of this is that you don't need 20, 30, 40 good friends or community that size. You really only need 1, 3, maybe 5. You don't need a lot. More can be better, but not necessarily. So if you don't have friends, a community, or something similar that you can lean on and open up to and that have similar values to you in life, you really need to spend time and some effort putting yourself out there to find that. So I want to compound on this a little farther because this is huge, huge, huge. You will be the average of the top 5 people that you spend your time and energy with. So if you have said goal of, let's say, getting fitter, being wealthier and happier, and you analyze the 5 people you spend the most time and energy with, and they aren't where you want to be, most likely you will never get to where you want to be. And that's tough. I'm talking family. A lot of people drag you down within your own family, not purposefully or with hate. They're just doing the best they can. Friends, same way. Look at the words coming out of their mouth. Are they negative or positive? Look at their actions day to day, not necessarily, definitely not what they're posting on social media, but their actual actions. Do you want to emulate them in any way, shape, or form? If they don't, you need to change your peer group. And again, step 4, building or joining a community that promotes your message in life or supports your values. You need to find that group of people, that tribe. So lastly, with this section here, step 4 is most people will not push you to your full potential, not even close. The majority of everyone listening to this today, myself included, are not at their full potential. I don't even know if that's achievable in life, but most people live far, far, far below their potential. And a lot of that has to do with who you're surrounding yourself with, and who's encouraging you or not encouraging you, and the feedback or no feedback that they're giving you. Be very picky moving forward with who you spend your time and energy with, and you may see some amazing things change. Step 5, make yourself physically sustainable. May seem obvious, but many of us are not doing this, and or we can do better. Treat yourself as though you have one body, one brain, one beautiful life. Do not damage your body repeatedly. This could be food, alcohol, poor sleep, improper exercise. You need to grow and eat as much local food, whole food as possible. This is true nutrition. We should be detaching from technology as much as possible. And I understand we have our jobs and emails and whatnot, and that's fine. But this technology, especially social media, is designed to slowly control you and consume you. So we need to be detaching from that as much as possible in nature, moving around, eating whole foods, sleeping, and whatnot. We need to exercise daily, every day. This isn't a 2 to 3 day a week plan. And then for the other 4 days, I can sit around, watch Netflix, and not be active. I would rather everyone listening move 7 days per week lightly to moderately, then choose 2 or 3 hard days in the quote unquote gym, are excessively sore, possibly injured themselves, and aren't active the other 4 days, 4 to 5 days out of the week. We need to be moving constantly. If we look at our ancestors, hunter and gatherers, that's exactly what they did. They moved 8 to 10 hours a day lightly. They would have periods for sure of exertion, hunting and killing an animal, maybe a battle with a tribe, or they had to move quickly due to weather. And they had some leisure too. Wrestling was huge back then within tribes. But they moved lightly to moderately every day. You need to sleep as much as possible without getting divorced. James Fitzgerald from OPEX told me that years ago. Sleep is huge. When I talk to people about like the pyramid of health, sleep is at the bottom. It's the biggest chunk. Without it, everything else upstream will suck. So sleep needs to be prioritized. And within step 5, making yourself as physically sustainable as possible, mentally, we need to stop looking for the next quick fix. We need to define winning by consistency. And that goes with exactly what I just said above with moving every day lightly or moderately with short periods of high exertion. Winning should be defined as checking the box and just participating, not going real hard for 30 to 60 days and not finding joy within that process. And then with that end point, which whatever that is up to that individual's goals, is achieved, then they stop, they fall off the wagon. There's charts showing this where, people with this mindset, whether it's in business, life, physical, whatever, well, the hockey stick chart, right? The line shooting straight up, and then it gets hard or that time period ends, and then boom, that line drops on the other side farther than where they even began. And then they do this repeatedly throughout their life, really never getting too far forward. So consistency within step 5 here, making yourself as physically sustainable as possible. Winning is defined by consistency. Show up, put the work in all the time, every day, do the best you can, understanding there's bad, good, and great days, and stop looking for the quick fix. Step 6, live and spend below your means. Unless you're listening and you are financially independent, meaning your passive income exceeds your monthly living expenses, you need to listen to this. Material items, i.e., things you buy, will rarely, if ever, buy happiness. Searching for happiness through these items are a direct reflection your life needs a different trajectory. Avoid becoming a slave to your possessions. the media, retail, all of this thrives on your unhappiness. They know that if they put that next ad in front of you or that next big sale, that you can buy that few hours of short-term happiness with that new product. But what you need to realize is that when you're spending all of your money on these material items to buy short-term happiness, you're never creating freedom for yourself. You're never saving, you're never getting ahead. And you keep thinking, if only I had this, if only I had that, I would be happier. And that's not true at all. You need to find joy in experiences, walking, hiking, exercise, physical pursuits, good education, reading, great relationships. All of this stuff doesn't cost money, okay? And as a result, you will end up saving money because you're buying less material items. And long term, this will create much more freedom in your life because you are generating some level of passive income, hopefully through some investments. And you don't look back at 70 years old and realize you just gave it all to Amazon and Walmart. Henry David Thoreau had a great quote, men have become the tool of their tools. Yeah, we are buying more and more stuff constantly, and we're working harder and harder for these products, sacrificing our time and our freedom. And so these tools and purchases and consumeristic goods are creating a life of slavery for many people when it does not need to be that way. Step 7, be careful what your dollars and time support. Time is our most precious resource, and we spend our time working for money to provide for ourselves. Your consumeristic decisions should meet your values. Do your consumeristic decisions support companies and practices you believe in? So what do I mean by that? Buying products from China versus supporting local. Purchasing meat from farms whose animals never see sunlight, have space in nature, or eat real food versus supporting your local farmer right down the road. Your purchases dictate where the economy goes. Many people don't realize that. They're complain about technology overtaking their lives, or numerous iPhone upgrades, but yeah, they're part of that and they're supporting that and they pay for that every month, and you're driving that process forward. Your dollars, you should be voting with your dollars with the values that you believe in, and that will create positive change in the direction you want to see the world head. So step 7, be careful what your dollars and your time support. So let's look at time a little bit farther. So do you believe in the mission of the company that you work for? I said when we started this talk that 87% of people are unhappy day to day in their job. So this should be an easy question to answer. Do you believe in the mission of the company you work for? And for the majority, based on that statistic, I'd say no. If that's not true, then good for you. That's great, and stay where you are. But remember, you're spending 40 to 50 hours a week of your life at this place. You need to believe in the mission of the company that you work for. It doesn't mean you need to make a ton of money. It doesn't mean that, you need to be the CEO and, all these status positions that society tells you should be heading towards. All you need to do is believe in the mission of the company that you work for, and your whole life can potentially change. Lastly, would you want your consumeristic decisions duplicated at scale? It's sort of what we talked about in the prior section. with walking the walk, be the change you want to see in the world. Would you want how you spend money and what you spend money on to be duplicated? Okay. Do you feel those choices are making the world a better place? Do you know the companies that you're supporting? This is all stuff that I think about all of this so far in my own life and things I'm trying to hone in on. So step 7, be careful what your dollars and time support. Step 8, schedule and pursue a new activity, adventure, or project in your life that is exciting, inspiring, and new. Have at least one of these active in your life at any one time. I've realized that growth, okay, when you're in the trenches, something inspiring and you're really overloaded with this, time actually slows down. It's really quite amazing. We had quite a big project this summer over at a large piece of land we bought with a farmhouse we tore down, and tremendous amount of chainsawing and manual labor, and it really felt like time slowed down that entire summer because of that project and the effort put forth in that. Now, what I noticed when time really speeds up and you look back at 6 months or a year and you're like, holy shit, where did that time go? It was maybe a time of stagnation, i.e. Groundhog Day, where you really weren't inspired and diving deep into where you want to be. And so scheduling new things, whether it's a trip or a hard physical adventure or a project, learning something new, an instrument, woodworking project, anything, gardening, fly fishing, photography, a high peak 46 Adirondack challenge. Like, these are all things that keep life exciting and invigorating. Learning this new skill set builds a continual new version of your being, which is required for happiness and growth in life. And hope fends off depression and anxiety with the mundane routine of a day-to-day life. Looking forward to something, a new activity, all of this stuff is a huge factor when it comes to waking up inspired each day, not being depressed or anxious. Get that on your calendar. Step 9, people need a certain amount of conflict or struggle in their lives. And that void will always be filled either positively or negatively, depending on your choices. So what do I mean by that? Positive examples of conflict or struggle: hard workouts, learning something new, physical challenges. Negative examples: fighting with your spouse, drama at work, complaining about the world, constantly stressed over the small things. The farther down or up this scale you go, positive or negative, the less energy you're going to have for the other side. And so you see this with people that are really stuck in that Debbie Downer stage, the negative side of the sliding scale. Their whole life sort of seems to be spiraling downward. And they need to get on the other side of that scale. And so I find that if I'm not volunteering for hard things, whether it's with, our gym, with the business, something physical, a project, manual labor, something, we have reserve energy. And this is maybe why the news and the negative part of social media really does so well, is we will take that reserve energy that we didn't put into something positively hard, and we will put it into something negatively hard or difficult, right? Reading the news, posting on, getting in a battle on social media, being a social justice warrior, right? If we're really putting our energy into positive struggles, and listen to this, into positive struggles, we will have little to no energy to put in to starting negative struggles. So find those positive struggles in your life. Joe Rogan talked about this a while back in one of his podcasts, that he says that, and this is specific to him, but if he doesn't go to the gym for, 45 to 75 minutes a day and go hard, yeah, he's not the nicest person the rest of the day potentially, or he, goes down a negative rabbit hole. So choose conflict and struggle in the positive light. Okay, so that was step 9. So to review, the 9 steps to living properly with the Sustainable Human Project. Step 1, your aim in life should be clear, precise, and slightly larger than you can accomplish within your lifetime. Step 2, choose the difficult but meaningful life with purpose. Step 3, be the example in life you want duplicated throughout the world. Step 4, build or join communities that promote the message in life you stand for and support your values. Step 5, make yourself physically sustainable. Step 6, live and spend below your means. Step 7, be careful what your dollars and time support. Step 8, schedule and pursue a new activity, adventure, or project in your life that is exciting, inspiring, and new. Have at least one of these active in your life at any one time. And finally, step 9, choose positive conflicts and struggles versus negative. So a few notes to leave off with, some questions to reflect on and ask yourself. Are your actions promoting a better society? Lives lived that truly embrace this essence are difficult and rare, but sacred. There are few people left that want to walk this walk. Do you want to be one of them? The companies you support through your purchases, do you believe in them and their practices? Are you nourishing yourself with food produced by companies that promote individual and environmental health? Are you feeding your children food that you would be proud of? Are you working for and supporting a company that is building a better world and has built a culture to support its employees' health and happiness? Are you a liability or an asset to society? What value do you bring to the table? Do your investment/dollars that you put to work reflect companies or missions whom you support and believe in? Do your words reflect encouragement, a clear vision, and truth? And lastly, do you feel alive each morning? Now has never been a better time to reflect on these questions, to take the difficult path, but a path with a heart, as it's the only path that will provide hope for future generations. I want to end with another quote here with Jordan Peterson. We must each adopt as much responsibility as possible for individual life, society, and the world. We must each tell the truth and repair what is in disrepair and break down and recreate what is old and outdated. It is in this manner that we can and must reduce the suffering that poisons the world. It's asking a lot. It's asking for everything. But the alternative, the horror of authoritarian belief, the chaos of the collapsed state, the tragic catastrophe of the unnatural world, and the angst and weakness of the purposeless individual is clearly worse. Quote by Jordan Peterson. So we started it with that and we ended it with the same quote. I hope this provides some ideas and questions for people to reflect on. I thank you for supporting the Co-Movement Gym podcast. We will see you later.